All praise, glory, and honor is most certainly due to the Most High Elohim of the patriarchs Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I want to say peace to each and every one of you in the name of His Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, who we know as Jesus the Christ. So it's a blessing each and every single time that I come before you to bring a message containing His Word. I never counted a light thing to do so. And in today's message, I want to deal with something that we all need to consider. And I touched upon it this last Sabbath. This last Sabbath, I talked about death and the resurrection. But what we really need to understand is, as finite beings, we are subject to time. Time is of the essence when it comes to serving the Lord, because being finite, we having a expiration date, so to speak, lets us know that it's always time to serve the Lord. So I want to look at something that Christ said. This is John the 7th chapter. In John the 7th chapter, Christ is talking to his half-brothers. And they are basically mocking him because they didn't believe in him. Right? So this is, I'm going to pick it up at John 7 and verse 1. It says, "After these things Jesus walked in Galilee, for he would not walk in Jewry, because the Jews sought to kill him. So he came unto his own, and his own received him not," as the Bible says. Verse 2. "Now the Jews' feast of tabernacles was at hand. His brethren therefore said unto him, Depart hence and go into Judea, that thy disciples also may see the works that thou doest. For there is no man that doeth anything in secret, and he himself seeketh to be known openly. If thou do these things, show thyself to the world." Now why are they telling him this? Is it because they believe? No. Verse 5, it says, "For neither did his brethren believe in him." So if his brethren didn't believe in him, it shouldn't be surprising when you are a believer and your family rejects you. Okay? That's why I say, who is my mother, my brethren? Those that do the will of my Father. Okay? So he said, nevertheless, he says in verse 6, "Then Jesus said unto them, My time is not yet come." So what did that mean? It meant that it wasn't time for him to die. He knew that exactly when he was going to die. He told them in Matthew the 26th chapter, he said, "You know that 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified." He knew exactly when he was going to die. In John the 2nd chapter, when he turned water into wine, his mother, before he did it, his mother asked him, it said John 2 and verse 2. Notice what he said to his mother. It says, "And both Jesus was called and his disciples to the marriage." This is in Cana. "And when they wanted wine, the mother of Jesus saith unto him, They have no wine." Notice what he said. "Jesus saith unto her, Woman, what have I to do with thee? Mine hour is not yet come." So he was talking, hey, listen, what I have to do with this? Okay? So now, it could be that he was revealing himself, but he knew certain things had to happen at certain times. Okay? And he knew the same thing about his death. His death had to happen at a particular time. So now he said, back in John 7, he said, "My time is not yet come." But then he said something, that was him, but then he said something about all of us. He said, "But your time is always ready." What does that mean? You could die at any time. But there is a time for this, and people operate like they're going to go on forever, and that's just not the case. Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. And it's daunting to consider one's own mortality. But that's what we need to come to grips with and understand so that we can get it right. Ecclesiastes 3 and verse 1 says, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven." Then he goes on to say, "A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pick up that which is planted." So again, it's a time when you're born and it's a time when you die. And your life events are like that dash that's on the tombstone. Sunrise, whatever year that was. Sunset, whatever year that was. Let's go to the Gospel according to Luke. Chapter 12. Because here he puts it into perspective again, because you could think you have all kinds of time. I always tell a story about how my good friend growing up, my best friend growing up in high school, when I learned about this truth, I shared it with him, and he said, "I'm just too young. I want to have fun." And in my head, I was thinking, yeah, but you don't know when you're going to die. Because he said that was after we saw somebody die. That was, hey, unexpected. But now this is Luke the 12th chapter. Now I'm going to pick it up in Luke the 12th chapter. Now he's saying this is in regard to, the context is one trusting in their wealth. But notice what it says here. This is Luke 12:16. It said, he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentiful. So this rich man he had a lot of wealth. And he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do, because I have no room where to bestow my fruits? So like, man, I got so much of an abundance. I have such a big harvest. I don't know where to put things. So it says in verse 18, and he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But then what does it say here? Christ said, but God said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? So how that's stated, calling him a fool, like he thought, hey, I'm going to just ease back. No, you're going to die. And see, that's the thing. You don't know when you're going to die. So if you don't know when you're going to die, then what should you do? You should serve the Lord. Now let's go back to Ecclesiastes, because he tells you when the ideal time is. But it's good to read it just to know. He says in 12:1, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So the evil days is when your body begins to break down. But even before that, you could die. You could die in your strength. So let's go to verse 13. He said, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So he's going to judge. So if he's going to judge, we need to find out what he requires of us. And we need to be obedient unto his commandments and have faith in his son before that time comes. And with that, brothers and sisters, it's always my prayer that you will edify.